The Four Primal Teachings on Contemplation Sutra 3, edited version. Namo Amitabha Buddha. The compilation of Dharma Master Shandao's Four Primal Teaching on the Contemplation Sutra, Chapter 3, the proper teaching on the meaning of wholesomeness of samadhi in Contemplation Sutra. From here onwards, we will discuss the teaching proper, which consists of 16 areas. From every contemplation, it will be discussed in detail, and I am not talking about it now. Now, the teaching proper is different from the other masters. Here we will look at it according to the Dharma, starting from the visualization of the sun, the first sentence, until the lower grade of the inferior position is known as the proper teaching. Even though there are a variety of meanings before this section on the visualization of the sun, they are all the preface. We should thus know. The Buddha told Vaidehi, "You and living beings should be mindful of the Western land single-mindedly." How do you visualize? All living beings who are not born blind will be able to see. They should thus visualize the sunken sun by sitting facing the west. They should concentrate their mind to visualize the dwelling of the setting sun. With the unmoving gaze, they can fix their eyes on the sun, which looks like a hanging drum. After seeing the sun, they can also see it clearly with their eyes open or closed. This is known as the first contemplation, the visualization of the sun. Firstly, the visualization of the sun is listed. Next, we'll differentiate it, and lastly is the conclusion. There are altogether 5 points. 1. From the Buddha told Vaidehi onwards until should be mindful of the Western land reveals the proper teaching and general exhortation. Here it shows that Vaidehi talks about her intention to be born in Amitabha Buddha land. 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 Moreover, she also asks about the practice of right concentration. At that time, the Buddha decided to teach her. But as the condition and potential are not ripe, the practice is still incomplete. Instead, the Buddha opens up the causes of the 3 blessings to benefit those who have not heard of the teaching. Again, the Buddha repeats the exhortation to widely spread the Dharma. This Dharma is difficult to encounter, and so it is necessary to spread afar for people to be enlightened to it. When the Buddha told Vaidehi that she and the living beings aimed to exhort them, if they desire to leave the dust and afflictions to seek a rebirth in the Buddha land, they should be resolute in mind. When he says they should be mindful wholeheartedly and onwards, shows that living beings are easily distracted. Their consciousness runs wild like a monkey, as their mind pervades the 6 dusts continually without respite. But as the states and conditions are not one, on seeing them they will give rise to greed and false thinking. How can such beings be calm enough to cultivate the samadhi? If they cannot leave the external conditions to dwell in calmness, to be mindful continually, they need to dwell in only one western direction so that the mind will not run to the other 9 directions. Then with this one body, one mind and one transference, one dwelling, one state realm and one continuity, one refuge and one right mindfulness, it is known as the accomplishment. It is known as the accomplishment of the visualization. It is known as the right concentration. By doing this, such a man will attain liberation of the mind in this life and in the next life. 2. From how to visualize until seeing the sunken sun shows the matters on contemplation. It means all the living beings have long been transmigrating in the flows of birth and death. They do not know how to subdue their mind to dwell in calmness. Even though the Buddha has pointed out the Western land, they still do not know how to visualize. That is why the Thus Come One question again to clear any doubts and attachment so as to show the method of right mindfulness. Saying those who visualize is to clarify their intentions, that it is an expedience to help them to enter contemplation later. Saying all the living beings refers generally to all who are born. Saying that they are not blind and onwards is to differentiate if such a man is endowed with the potential or without the potential to cultivate this. Talking about those who are born blind refers to people who cannot see from the moment they are born. For such a man, we cannot teach him the visualization of the sun because he does not know what the sunlight is. But those who are not born blind, who are blind because of certain unfortunate happenings, can still accomplish this visualization of the sun. This is because they have seen the sun and its lights before they become blind. Now, even though they cannot see, they should be taught to visualize the appearance of the sun and uphold it persistently with firm resolution. They will surely be able to accomplish it. Question. By day he wishes to see the realm of ultimate bliss, and until the Thus Come One allows her to ask. Then he first teaches the visualization of the sun. What is the meaning for this? Answer. There are three meanings. Firstly, he desires living beings to understand the states by calming down the mind, showing the direction of the land. This does not refer to the summer or winter season. It refers only the spring and autumn seasons when the sun arises in the east and goes down in the west. The land of Amitabha Buddha is at the western direction when the sun goes down. The land is situated in the west directly after passing by the 10 trillion lands. 2. As he desires to let the living beings to realize the heaviness of their karmic hindrances, how do we know? This is because he teaches us to bring our mind to visualize the sun. At the beginning, when we try to gather in the mind, we should sit uprightly in the full lotus posture. The right leg is placed on the left thigh with the left leg on the right thigh. The outer joints are in a straight line. Then place the left palm on the right palm so that the body is upright and straight. Close the mouth and make sure the teeth do not touch. Place the tongue to touch the upper jaw so that the air can flow freely in the throat and nose. Then we are taught to contemplate the four elements of the body externally and internally as being empty. Visualize the earth element of the body, such as the skin, flesh, muscle, and bones, are spread to the end of the western direction until not a dust is to be seen. Then visualize the water element in the body, such as the blood, sweats, saliva, and tears are spread to the end of the northern direction until not a dust is to be seen. Then visualize the wind element is spread to the end of the eastern direction until not a dust is to be seen. Then we visualize the fire element is spread to the end of the southern direction until not a dust is to be seen. Then we visualize the element of empty space of this body is combined with the empty space in the 10 directions until not a dust is seen as not empty. Then we visualize the 5 elements of the body are empty. Only the consciousness element dwells in one-pointedness, just like the round mirror. This illumination shines brightly in purity internally and externally. When we are thus visualizing, the confused thought will be eradicated, and the mind will gradually become one-pointed. Slowly we move our mind to contemplate the sun. Those of sharp roots will immediately see the bright illumination when they sit down. When the state appears, the bright illumination is the size of a coin or the size of a mirror. Upon this illumination we can see for ourselves if our karma is heavy or light. 1. The black hindrances resemble the dark cloud that cover up the sun. 2. We see the yellow hindrances resemble the yellow clouds that cover up the sun. 3. We see the white hindrances resemble the white clouds that cover up the sun. As the sun is covered up by the clouds, it cannot reveal its brightness. This is the same for the karmic hindrances of living beings. It covers up the states of the pure mind until the mind cannot illuminate clearly. If the practitioner sees this, he should immediately adorn the way place and place the Buddha image. He should bathe himself and put on clean clothes. Then he should burn the fragrant incense and say out his repentance clearly before all the Buddha, all the worthies and sages. Before the Buddha image, he should repent on all the misdeed in this life, all the offenses which were committed with the body, mouth, and mind, the 10 evils, the 5 rebellious acts, the 4 heavy offenses, and other sins, such as slandering the Dharma, the sins of Ekantika. He should sincerely be remorseful over his evils with tears shed before the Buddha image. He feels the great sorrow in his heart, which penetrates his bone. This is how he shows his regrets. After the repentance, he should return to his seat, sit down just as before, direct his mind towards the state of visualization. If the state comes forth, the 3 hindrances as stated are totally cleared. The pure state that he visualizes will be clear and bright. This is known as the instant eradication of hindrances. For a Sharp-Ru practitioner, he repents once and all his hindrances are cleared. For others, some may repent once and clear away the dark hindrances. Or some may repent once and have his yellow or white hindrances cleared. Or some may seek repentance once and clear away the white hindrances only. This is known as the gradual eradication of hindrances, not the instant eradication of hindrances. Since we know how to differentiate our karmic hindrances, we need only to repent diligently. Throughout the 3 periods of time in the day and night, altogether the 6 periods of time, we should repent whenever we remember our sins. Such a man is of the superior roots, the highest practitioner. This resembles the hot soup or fire, which is burning our body. Once we realize it, we should back away from it. How can we waste our time to wait for the proper time, the proper place, the proper conditions, the proper people? Only then we wish to eradicate them. 3. He desires living beings to know the proper rewards and the dependent rewards of Amitabha Buddha, which are replete with all kinds of adornment, all kinds of bright illumination that shine out internally and externally. The lights far surpass the sun by hundreds of thousands, million times. If the practitioner does not know the states of lights in that land, he should look at the bright illumination of the sun. If he can be mindful of this illumination while he is walking or standing, sitting or lying down, making obeisance, or reciting the name of the Buddha, thinking and visualizing of him, he will attain a mind of concentration not long after this. He will see the happy and adorned matters in the Pure Land. Because of such a reason, the world honor one teaches us to visualize and contemplate the sun first. 3. From the visualization and mindfulness of the sun until it looks like a hanging drum, this is the proper teaching on contemplation. This means that the practitioner should observe his deportment, uprightly to face the west. He should take good care of his mind, to dwell in the state so that it is firm and immovable. There will be a respond in whatever that he expects. 4. From after seeing the sun until seeing clearly is to show the accomplishment of contemplation. This means that the mind sees the sun, his thoughts is under control, and the external conditions are cleared. In every thought, it is immovable. The pure appearance will be seen clearly. Moreover, during the concentration, when he first sees the sun, he obtains the bliss of samadhi immediately. The body and mind are in harmony internally and externally, in an inconceivable state. On seeing this, he should subdue his mind so that the mind is not greedily attached to this. If the mind of greed arises, the mind water will start to move again. Once the mind is moving, the pure state will disappear. The mind will dwell in movement, darkness, black, green, red, and white, states of colors, and the mind is not calm. On seeing this, one should thus think, this is a state which is not calm. It is moving and vibrating. There is no peace because of my mind of greed. As such, the pure state becomes extinct because of the movement. Then he should again dwell in the calmness of right mindfulness and start all over again. The moving mind will be eradicated, and the mind will again dwell in stillness. After knowing this fault, he should not give rise to a mind of enhancing greed from then onwards. In the various contemplations that follow, we should react in this manner, facing the deviant or proper states, the state of gain or loss. On contemplating the sun, we see the sun. The mind and state are in coherence. This is known as proper contemplation. On contemplating the sun, and we do not see the sun, instead we see other mixed states, the mind and state are not in coherence, so it is known as deviant. This is the matter of contact in the dark house of the Saha world, and there is no way to describe them all. We can only bring our mind to dwell in the bright, shiny sun, to concentrate on the faraway world of ultimate bliss. 5. This is the conclusion. Even though there are the 5 different descriptions, this is the end of the contemplation of the sun expansively. Next is the visualization of water, which is pure and transparent. Visualize the water clearly with a fixed mind. After seeing the water, you should visualize the water, which is clear and translucent. It looks like the lapis lazuli. When this visualization is accomplished, you will see the lapis lazuli ground shining brilliantly, internally and externally. The lapis lazuli ground is supported by the golden dvaja, a vajra, and 7 gems. It is hexagon in shape, facing the 8 directions. Every side of the dvaja is made from myriad gems. Every jeweled pearl emits thousands of lights. Every light consists of 84,000 colors, which reflects on the lapis lazuli ground that resembles billion suns. The brightness cannot be seen fully. On the lapis lazuli ground, it is decorated with golden linings that intervene one another. The realms of 7 gems are distinctively and neatly divided. Every gem comprises of 500 colored lights which look like flowers, or the resemblance of stars and moons hanging in the space, like a brightly illumined platform. Thousands and millions of bungalows and pavilions are made of myriad gems. On both sides of the platform, every side is adorned with hundreds of billions flowery dvaja and immeasurable musical instruments. From the bright lights, 8 types of breeze blow by to play the musical instruments, singing out the teachings of sufferings, emptiness, impermanence, and no self. This is known as the second contemplation, the visualization of water. 2. In the contemplation of water, firstly we've listed out the appearance. Next, we will differentiate, and this is followed by a conclusion. There are 6 points. A. From next, we visualize the water until it shines clearly internally, and externally is a general description of the ground. Question. Before this, we were taught to contemplate the sun, so that we will know our karma. This is the reason given. Now that we are taught to contemplate the water, what is the reason? Answer. The sun shines continually to show that the world of ultimate bliss is always bright. Next, we might misunderstand that the ground is not even, just like this filthy land, where the land is of different heights. In the dark house of Saha, we know only the sun gives us the light. Our land is uneven and filled with hills and pits. If we wish to describe the evenness of the land, the best example is the water. This is to show its evenness. What is more, that it is made of lapis lazuli. Question. In this world, the water is wet and soft. I do not know if the ground is also the same as the water. Answer. The evenness of the water is also shown on the ground, which is even. Next, the water is transformed into ice. This is to show the ground of lapis lazuli is even and transparent. This shows that Amitabha Buddha has been practicing equality throughout the many kalpas, as his mind is even without taking side. All the habitual actions are put to extinction. Because of such merits, the luminous wheel of ground comes forth. Question. We are taught to dwell in the visualization of water, transform the water into ice, and the ice is transformed into lapis lazuli ground. What should be done so that the state will appear? Answer. We should pay attention to an awesome deportment, just as taught before in the contemplation of the sun. Moreover, if we wish to contemplate the water and dwell in the mind of samadhi, we should Cultivate contemplation, facing a state with the resemblance of water. Then it will be easier to enter samadhi. The practitioner should go to a quiet place and take one bowl of water. Fill it up to the brim and place it on the ground before the bed. He should then sit on the bed. He takes a white piece of thing the size of a bean and places it between his two eyebrows. He lowers his head and puts his face near to the water surface, concentrating his mind on the white patch. He must not get involved in other matters. At the beginning stage, the water on the ground is vibrating continually. Even if we go near the water surface, we cannot see our face. As we continue to contemplate unceasingly, our face gradually appears. At the beginning stage, the face features keep on changing. Sometimes it is long, sometimes it is short, sometimes it is broad, sometimes it is narrow, sometimes it can be seen, and sometimes it disappears. When the face appears, we should look at it with a refined heart. After some time, the waves become more refined. It seems to move, yet it is not moving. Slowly, the face can be seen clearly. Even though you see the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, and other features, do not be attached to it or try to avoid it. Just relax the body and mind, know it and not get attached to it. We only take note of the white patch and see it clearly. By doing so, we are mindful of it with right mindfulness, not losing this mindfulness or getting involved in other conditions. On seeing this, the mind gradually becomes stable and dwells in one place. The water nature is clear. Besides, the practitioner who desires to know if his own mind water is moving or is not moving, he just have to contemplate this water. If it is moving or not moving, he will know the appearance of his own states of mind, if the states are revealed or not revealed, if the states are bright or dark. Then wait for the water to calm down, and we take a grain of rice and throw it into the water. There will be ripples in the whole bowl of water pervasively. We put our face above the water and look at it. The white patch will be moving. Then we throw in some beans. The waves get bigger. The white patch on our face can be seen at times, and not seen at times. Then we throw in some dates and the waves get bigger. Our head and face, the white patch on the face will all disappear and cannot be seen. This is because the water is moving. The bowl is an analogy of our body. The water is an analogy of our mind water. The waves are the analogies of confused thoughts and afflictions. The gradual subsiding of the waves is to control and renounce all conditions by dwelling in one state of mind. Saying that when the water is calm, the states will appear, it means that if our mind which faces the states is not confused, the states which we encounter are unmoving. We are calm at ease internally and externally. Whatever that we seek will come forth naturally. Besides, with the arising of a slight thought or a coarse thought, the mind water will be moving. When the mind water is moving, the tranquil state will be lost. Moreover, if a fine dust or a coarse dust were to be thrown into the water of stillness, the waves will appear. Besides, the practitioners just need to take a look at the water to see whether it is moving or unmoving. They will know whether their own mind dwells in stillness or not. Moreover, whether the states appear or are hidden, deviant or proper, can be judged in the same way as in the contemplation of the sun. Moreover, Vasubandhu Bodhisattva has praised in this way. By contemplating the appearance of that world, it far surpasses the paths of the triple realm. Ultimately, it resembles the empty space, which is broad, expansive, and limitless. This is the general description of the expanse of the ground in that land. 2. From the bottle there are the Vajra of 7 gems until it cannot be seen fully is the description of the adornment of the underground. There are 7 points. 1. It states that the building of the Vajra is made of the Vajra with no leakage. 2. It shows that it supports the ground in a clear, reflective, and adorned way. 3. It shows the Vajra is with angles, not a circular one. 4. It shows that it is made up of hundreds of jewels equivalent to the quantity of dust and sands. 5. It shows that thousands of lights are emitted from the gems and shine forth to the realm of infinity. 6. It shows that the lights are of myriad colors which shine to other directions. They manifest various transformation in accord with the individual potential to benefit them at all times. 7. It shows that all the lights and arrays of colors far surpass the sunlights. Those who have just attained a rebirth are unable to perceive these manifestations fully. Pataka Dvaja. Verses of praise. The adorned underground dvajas of 7 jewels are immeasurable in number. There are limitless, countless billions dvajas. The hexagon dvajas are made up of myriad jewels on the 8 sides. On seeing them, we will be enlightened to no birth naturally. In the jewel land of no birth, everything is permanent. Every jewel flow emits innumerable lights. Practitioners who concentrate on them will see them always. With the spiritual power, they are able to jump up so high to enter the Western land. Another verse of praise. The Western land is a land of stillness, a land of Namanam bliss. It is the ultimate bliss of great ease, with no contradiction in existence or no existence. With a mind of great compassion, we travel in the Dharma realm. We are able to benefit all living beings equally in our transformation bodies, with no differentiation. Or we reveal the spiritual penetration to speak the Dharma, or we reveal our handsome countenance in entering the realm of no residue. We can manifest the different adornments all at ease. All the living beings who see us will have their sins eradicated. Another verse of praise. Let's go home. Do not dwell in this place of Mara. We have been transmigrating throughout the many long kalpas. We have been to all the 6 paths. Wherever we go, we do not see any bliss except the sighs of worries. After the end of this lifespan, we will enter that city of nirvana. 3. From the lapis lazuli ground onwards, until they are distinctively and neatly divided, shows the supremacy of the adornment on the ground. This shows that the dependent and upholding rewards are perfect and pure. The 7 jewel pond and the forest are the rewards of reliance. The lapis lazuli ground provides the radiance, provides the reliance. The ground is able to uphold and support. The ponds, platforms, forests are supported by the ground. This happens because of the perfection of the causes of practice by Amitabha Buddha. As such, the rewards thus obtained is perfectly clear. The meaning of clarity and purity means the body is with no leakage. It is thus praised. The adornment of the jewel ground is incomparable and immeasurable. The bright illumination shines forth to the 10 directions. The land is pervasively covered with the jewel pavilion and the flowery platforms. They are of mixed colors with delicate designs which are impossible to measure. The jewel clouds, the jeweled canopies cover up the whole empty space from above. The sagely assemblies fly around as they visit one another. The jeweled vajas, jeweled banners, and canopies are turning continuously in accord with the blowing breeze. Jewel music is played with lights emitting in accord with our thoughts. With a confused mind of doubts, the flowers do not bloom. The flowers resemble the tightly closed palms, and they are known as those who are born from the wombs. Inside the lotus womb, they enjoy the Dharma bliss without experiencing the slightest sufferings. When the hindrances are gone, the flowers will bloom by themselves instantly. They are endowed with a golden body, with clear and penetrative ears. Gently, the bodhisattvas adorn them with the jewel clothes. When the lights touch them, they will accomplish the 3 patience instantly. Immediately, they wish to see the Buddha as they descend from the golden platform. The Dharma retinues welcome them into the great assembly. On seeing the honored one's countenance, praises are pronounced. Good indeed, good indeed. From the gold lining and onward shows that the roads are made of gold, and they resemble the golden ropes. Some grounds are made of mixed gems with the lapis lazuli as the roads. Some grounds are made of lapis lazuli with the white jade as the road paths. Some grounds are made from purplish gold and white silver with mixed gems as the roads. Some grounds are made from ineffable jewels with ineffable gems as the roads. Some grounds are made from thousands of million gems with 2 or 3 gems as the roads. In this way, the grounds and the roads and paths are decorated with interchangeable mixed gems and jewels. They are combined in the most shining and unique manner with outstanding revelation. Every light, every color is different and with no confusion. So the practitioner should not say, "They are only the golden roads," that the roads are not made from other gems and jewels. 4. From every jewel emits 500 colored lights until the adornment of musical instruments shows the adornment in the empty space. There are 6 points. 1. The gems emit lots of lights. 2. Analogies are used to reveal the appearance. 3. The lights are transformed into the platform. 4. The lights are transformed into bungalows and pavilions. 5. Lights are transformed into flowery dvajas. 6. The lights are transformed into the sound of jewel music. Next, the mixed jewels on the ground are described. Every jewel emits 500 colored lights. Every colored light springs up into space and becomes a bright platform. On every platform are thousands of millions jewel bungalows. Every bungalow is made up from the combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 and ineffable jewels as adornments, saying that they resemble the flowers and stars and the moons, because the kind and compassionate Buddha is afraid that we cannot understand the adornments. So he uses the analogies to show them, saying that on both sides of the platform are hundreds of billion flowery dvajas. The jewel ground consists of immeasurable bright illuminations. Every light is transformed into the bright platforms that cover up the empty space pervasively. The practitioners are often mindful of this while they are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. 5. From the 8 types of gentle breeze until the sound of no self shows that the lights are transformed into music, transformed into the appearance of Dharma teaching. There are 3 points. 1. It shows that the 8 breezes come out from the lights. 2. When the breezes of lights are released, they play on the drum and produce the sound. 3. The breezes can teach clearly. The breeze can teach clearly on the 4 inverted thoughts, the 4 genuineness and Dharma equivalent to the Ganges sands. Verses of praise. The land of serenity bliss is replete with purity. The wheel of no filth is often turned. In one mindfulness and at one instant, it is able to benefit all living beings. It praises the merits and virtues of the Buddha without a mind of differentiation. In this way, the merits and virtues which resemble the great ocean of jewels can swiftly be fulfilled. 6. From here and onwards is the conclusion. Even though there are the 6 different points, is the end of expansive discussion on water contemplation. When this visualization is accomplished, we should contemplate every one so that they are clearly seen, with our eyes open or closed without dispersion. We should constantly visualize this except at mealtime. If we can visualize in this way, it is known as a coarse vision of the land of ultimate bliss. If we were to attain the samadhi, we will see the ground of that land clearly, and it is ineffable to describe all. This is the visualization of the ground. This is known as the 3rd visualization. The Buddha told Ananda, "You should uphold the Buddha's words and speak the Dharma of the contemplation of the ground for all the multitude of future living beings who desire to be liberated from sufferings. If a man is able to contemplate the ground, his sinful offenses of 80 billion kalpas of birth and death will be eradicated. After leaving the present body, he will surely be born in the Pure Land in the next life. His mind will be free from doubts. Contemplate in this way is known as the proper contemplation. Other contemplations are known as deviant contemplation." 3. In the contemplation of the ground, firstly we list it out, then we differentiate it, and lastly is the conclusion. There are 6 points. 1. From this contemplation is accomplished, it is the conclusion of the 4 teachings which will bring out the latter teachings. 2. From every contemplation onwards, until they cannot be described fully, shows the differentiation of the appearance which are accomplished. There are 6 points. A. It shows that the mind dwells on one state. We should contemplate in a general or mixed way. B. As the mind dwells in one state, the state will appear. As it appears, we should make sure that it is clearly seen. C. Since the state appears in our mind, we should hold on to it with our eyes open or closed, so that it is not lost. D. We should be mindful of the state throughout the days and nights without forgetting it, nor renouncing it, except during the sleeping hours. E. As we continue to be mindful of the Pure Land, we will surely see the appearance of the Pure Land. This is known as the sight of a mind of visualization. This is because there is still the awareness of thinking. F. When the thinking mind is getting lesser, the visualization of awareness is eradicated instantly. One will dwell in right concentration and certified to samadhi. One will truly see the subtly wonderful matters in that state. How could it be described fully? This is because the ground is so expansive and limitless. There are so many Dvajas, so much precious gems, which are shiny and colorful, with abundant transformations and manifestation. That is why I would like to exhort everyone to put your heart in the practice, and you will see them clearly before you. 3. From here onwards is the conclusion. 4. From the Buddha told Ananda until the Dharma of ground contemplation shows the exhortation to bring forth the mind, to circulate the teaching, to speak widely for the multitude, in accord with the conditions. There are 4 points. A. To tell the way, to exhort one to practice. B. To advise one to uphold the Buddha's words. To teach expansively for the future living beings on the benefits of ground contemplation. C. To differentiate the individual potential. Who is able to accept this teaching? Who is able to have faith in this teaching? Who desires to renounce this body of birth and death in the Saha world, to renounce the 8 sufferings, the 5 sufferings, the 3 evil paths, and other sufferings. On listening to the teaching, they will have faith and practice accordingly. For such a person, we should renounce our body and life and tell him about the Buddha recitation quickly. If we are able to teach one person to renounce sufferings, to leave birth and death, this is genuinely repeating the kindness of the Buddha. Why is this so? This is because all the Buddha enter the world, use the various expedients to teach and transform living beings, do not aim to bring them to attain the bliss of man and devas when they abstain from evils to cultivate blessings. This is because the bliss of man and devas resemble the lightnings. In a short instant, the bliss will fully be utilized, and one will enter the 3 evil paths for a long time to undergo sufferings. Because of such causes and conditions, the Buddhas only exhort us to seek a rebirth in the Pure Land, and to advance on the unsurpassed Bodhi. So now, with those who have affinity, we will exhort them all to bring forth the vows to seek a rebirth in the Pure Land. This is in accord with the original intention of all the Buddha. If a man does not have faith in this Dharma, does not practice accordingly, it is the same as what is described in the Sutra of Pure Enlightenment. If a man, on hearing the Pure Land Dharma door, and acts as if he is not hearing, sees the Dharma as if he is not seeing, we should know that such a man has just left the 3 evil paths. His sinful hindrances are not cleared. That is why he cannot have faith in this. The Buddha said, I would say that such a man is unable to attain liberation. In the sutra, it also states thus: if a man, on hearing the Pure Land Dharma door, is filled with joy and compassion, that his hair stands on ends, we should know that such a man had practiced this Dharma in the past. Now that he has a chance to hear again, he is most joyful. He will cultivate the right mindfulness, and he will surely attain a rebirth. D. It shows the proper teaching to subdue the mind by contemplating the jewel ground. 5. From if one contemplates this ground until the mind is not suspicious, shows the benefits of contemplation. Shows the benefits of contemplation. There are 4 points. A. In this Dharma, it only stresses on the contemplation of the jewel ground, not other states. B. It shows that by contemplating the jewel ground, which is without leakage, offenses of many kalpas with leakage will be eradicated. C. It shows that after renouncing this body, one will be born in the Pure Land. D. It shows that that one cultivates by relying on the cause of right mindfulness without any doubts. Those who doubt will attain a rebirth too, but they will dwell in the lotus wombs and cannot leave the wombs. Some are born at the border, while others in the womb of the palaces. Or others have their doubts and hindrances eradicated with the great compassion of the Bodhisattva who enters and teaches them the samadhi of blooming lotus, and they will come out from the palace wombs, reaching the most adorned form features. Their Dharma friends bring them along to attend the assemblies of the Buddha. These are the people who concentrate their mind on the jewel ground. The past hidden sins and obstacles are put to extinction. Those who have perfected the karma of vows and practices, who are without doubts, will surely attain a rebirth at the end of their life. Now, as we know of such supreme benefits of contemplation, we are exhorted to differentiate which is proper and which is deviant. 6. From after this contemplation onwards, it shows the differentiation of proper and deviant contemplations. The meanings of being proper or deviant have been explained in the contemplation of the sun. Here we have the 6 different descriptions, and it is the end of the explanation of the contemplation of the ground expansively. 8. Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi, after you have accomplished the visualization of the ground, next contemplate the jewel trees. On contemplating the jewel trees, we visualize that all the trees are grown in rows of 7 layers. Every tree is grown to a height of 8,000 yojanas. These jewel trees are fully replete with flowers and leaves of 7 gems. Every flower and every leaf are unique in a variety of jewel colors. From the lapis lazuli color, golden lights are emitted. From the crystal colored, red lights are emitted. From the agate color, tridakna lights are emitted. From the tridakna color, green pearly lights are emitted. Corals and amber and myriad jewels are the shining decorations. Wonderful pearly net covers the trees from above. Every tree is covered by 7 layers of nets from above. Among the nets are 500 billion of wonderful flower palaces, which resemble the palace of the Brahma king. Celestial youths can be seen among them naturally. Every celestial youth wears the necklaces of 500 billion Sakra Abhilagna Mani gems. The lights of the Mani shine to a distance of 100 yojanas. The lights resemble the combination of hundreds of billion suns and moons, and it is impossible to describe them all. The myriad gems intervened among the Sakra gems. Among the colors, they are the most supreme colors. All the jewel trees are well spaced in rows. The leaves are grown in neat order with wonderful flowers blooming among them. On the flowers there are the fruits of 7 gems naturally. Every leaf has the length and breadth equivalent to 25 yojanas. The leaves are of thousands of colors with hundreds of designs, just like the celestial ornaments. There are a variety of wonderful flowers, which are of golden jambunada color. The flowers bloom like the spinning fire wheels among the leaves. All kinds of fruits are grown and shaped like the sakra vase. There is a great illumination which is transformed into immeasurable dvajas, banners, and immeasurable jewel canopies. In the jewel canopies, all the Buddha works in the 3,000 great thousand worlds are revealed. The Buddha lands in the 10 directions also appear among them. After seeing these trees, we should visualize the adornments in sequence. We should contemplate the tree trunks, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits clearly. This is known as the 4th contemplation, the visualization of the trees. 4. From the contemplation of the jewel trees, we will first list them out, then differentiate them. Lastly, there is a conclusion. There are altogether 10 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda until the next Until next we contemplate the jeweled trees, shows the Buddha's general exhortation in the item of contemplation. It is the conclusion of the four teaching, which will bring on the latter teaching. B. The contemplation of the jeweled trees is mentioned as a repetition of the title of contemplation. The contemplation is mentioned one by one and onwards to bring on the marks of the latter contemplation. These are the guidelines in the propounding of the teaching proper. It shows that the pure land of Amitabha Buddha is expansive and limitless. It is not necessary. There are only the 7 layers of jeweled trees, the jewel forest. Now we say there are 7 layers carries the following meaning. For example, there is a tree with golden roots, purplish gold trunks, silverish white branches, agate twigs, coral leaves, white jade flowers, genuine pearls as the fruits. In this way, the 7 layers of various gems are interchangeably as the roots, trunks, and even the flowers, fruits, and so on. 7 multiplies by 7 is 49 layers. Or there are trees with only one type of jewel. Or there are trees which are made up of 2, 3, 4, or even hundreds of thousands of millions, billion, ineffable jewels. The meanings have been fully discussed in the explanation of Amitabha Sutra. This is the meaning of 7 layers. Talking about rows, there are many trees and forests in that land, but all of them are well and neatly spaced in rows without confusion. Talking about visualization, as we are unable to contemplate as desire, we need to rely on the visualization to bring our mind to one place. Only then we will be benefited. C. From every one of the trees until yojanas shows the size and quantity of trees. It means that all the jewel forests and trees flow out from Amitabha Buddha's mind with no leakage. As the mind of the Buddha is with no leakage, as the mind of the Buddha is with no leakage, so his trees are also without leakage. Verses of praise. The proper path of great kindness and compassion brings forth the good roots of leaving the world. With the fulfillment of the pure and bright illumination, it resembles the mirror, the wheels of sun and moon. Talking about the quantity, every tree is 32 million miles in height. There is no old tree, death tree, no small tree, no tree which grows up gradually. Everything comes forth instantly. The quantity and numbers is the same constantly. Why is this so? This is because that is the realm of no leakage, the realm of no birth. How can there be the meaning of birth and death, or the meaning of growing gradually? D. From the various jewel trees until, as the reflective decoration shows the unique marks of mixed trees, mixed adornments, and mixed decorations. There are 4 points. It shows that in the forests, the trees, flowers, and leaves are decorated and interlaced with various mixed gems. B. It shows that every root, trunk, branch, twig, fruit, and such like are replete with myriad gems. C. It shows that every flower, every leaf is different in transformation. From the lapis lazuli golden lights are emitted. In this way there are the manifestation of the interchangeable gems and lights. D. It shows that some trees are decorated with a mixture of gems. Verses in praise. They are fully replete with the myriad nature of pearls and gems, which are most wonderful and adorned. The light of no filth is burning tremendously, and it illumines the worldly realm. Moreover, here is another verse of praise. There are many jewel trees in the pure land of Amitabha Buddha. On the 4 sides of the tree, heavenly clothes are hung around the lowering twigs. In the jewel clouds, canopies are seen everywhere. The transformation birds sing in harmony. They fly in circles in the space, singing the Dharma sounds while entering the assemblies. Sagely, assemblies from other directions are most blissful on hearing these echoes. Those who stay on this land can see the forms and are enlightened. E. From the wonderful pearly nets until the most supreme colors shows the adornment in the space above the trees. There are 7 points. A. It shows that the pearly nets cover the trees from above. B. It shows that there are many layers of nets. C. It shows the number of palaces. D. It shows that in every of the palaces there are many youths. E. It shows that the youths are adorned with necklaces of pearls. F. It shows the distance of illumination of jewelry. G. It shows that the lights far surpass the most supreme color. E. From this jewel forest until the 7 jewel fruits shows that even though there are many trees in the forest, they are not messy. When the flowers and fruits are bloomed, they do not come from within. This is because of the profound causes planted by Dharmakara Bodhisattvas, that the flowers and fruits come forth naturally. G. From every of the leaves until the flowers bloom among the leaves shows that the colors of the flowers and leaves are all different. There are 5 points. A. It shows that the size and quantity of the leaves are the same without differences. B. It shows the quantity of colors and lights from the leaves. C. It shows that the Buddha is afraid that we might not recognize them, so he uses analogies to reveal the appearance that they resemble the heavenly necklaces. D. It shows that among the leaves are the wonderful flowers with the color comparable to the heavenly gold. The flower looks like swirling. The flower looks like swirling fire wheels. E. The flowers reveal themselves and shine out in sequence, swirling brightly among the leaves. H. From the trees, fruits are bloomed naturally, until also appear among them, shows that the fruits are replete with inconceivable virtues and functions. There are 5 points. A. It shows that the fruits naturally spring forth. B. Analogies are used to show the appearance of the fruits. C. From the fruits there are spiritual lights which are transformed into banners and canopies. D. It shows that the jewel canopies are circular and bright. The 3,000 realms appear inside the canopies, showing the 2 proper independent adornments. E. The Pure Lands in the 10 directions appear pervasively in the canopies. All the humans and devas in that land are able to see this. Moreover, the trees are especially tall and broad with abundant flowers and fruits. The spiritual transformations are not limited to one type. Every tree performs this function. The trees are fully grown in that land, and all the abundant fruits are also function in this way. All the cultivators should thus know and visualize these appearances while walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. I. From after seeing these trees until it can be seen clearly, shows the accomplishment of the contemplation. There are 3 points. A. With the contemplation the appearance is accomplished. B. It should be contemplated in sequence, not in a messy way. C. For every arising of thought and state, we should first contemplate the roots. Next, we will visualize the trunk, branches, twigs, and even the flowers and fruits, followed by the visualization of nettings and palaces. After this, we will visualize the youth with the necklaces. Next, we will visualize the size of the leaves, flowers and fruits, lights and colors. Next, we will visualize the canopies, which reveal the Buddha's work. If we can contemplate one by one, we will see them clearly. J. From here onwards is the conclusion. This is the land with the shining jewel trees, growing in rows with nettings, curtains, and the palaces in the empty space. The thousands color flowers, the fruits that reveal the scene of other directions. Even though there are the 10 different descriptions, this is the end of the extensive discussion of the jewel trees. Next, we will visualize the water. This is how we visualize the water. In the land of ultimate bliss, there are 8 ponds of water. Every pond of water is made up from the 7 gems. The gems are soft and pliant, and they flow out from the kings of wish-fulfilling pearls. They are divided into 14 streams. Every stream comprises the wonderful colors of 7 gems. The channels are made of gold. Mixed color Vajra are spread like the sands at the bottom of the channels. In every pond, 6 billion lotuses of 7 jewels are grown. Every lotus has a circumference of 12 yojanas. The mani water flowing among the flowers swirls up and down the trees. The mani water sings in a subtly wonderful sounds, propounding the dharma of suffering, emptiness, impermanence, no self, and the various paramita. Moreover, the mani water also praises the adoring countenance of all Buddhas. From the wish-fulfilling pearls, subtly wonderful golden lights are emitted. Golden lights are emitted. The lights are transformed into colorful birds of myriad jewel gems, which sing in harmony, praising the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha in a sweet and melodious voice. This is the 5th contemplation, the visualization of the water of 8 virtues. 5. In the jewel ponds, contemplation. First we list out the appearance, then we differentiate, and finally a conclusion. There are 7 points. A. From next we will visualize the water, and onwards shows the name of visualization generally. With this name of contemplation, it is followed by the latter explanation. It means that even though the jewel trees are most delicate, without the water and ponds it is still considered incomplete. Firstly, they appear so that the world will not be empty. Secondly, it is as an adornment for the dependent rewards. Because of such a reason, there is the contemplation on the ponds and channels. B. From the Pure Land of Ultimate Bliss until coming forth from the As You Wish Pearl, the king shows the numbers of ponds and the source is differentiated. There are 5 points. A. It shows and points out the land we are returning. B. It shows that the pond consists of the numbers of 8. C. It shows that every one of the shores beside the ponds are composed of 7 gems, with the jewel lights shine brightly all around. The water of 8 virtues is the same color as the mixed gems. That is why it is known as the jewel water. D. It shows that the myriad gems are soft and gentle. E. It shows that the water of the 8 ponds comes forth from the As You Wish gem. So, it is known as the As You Wish water. This water consists of 8 virtues. 1. It is pure and moisturizing. This is its form appearance. 2. It is not smelly. This is to show its fragrance. 3. It is light. 4. It is cold. 5. It is soft. This is tangible. 6. It is delicious. This is its taste. 7. When we drink the water, it is soothing and it adjusts itself to our wish. 8. After drinking, there is no side effect. This is the Dharma. The meanings of the 8 virtues have been discussed expansively in the teaching of Amitabha Sutra. Moreover, it is thus praised. In the world of ultimate bliss, it is thus praised. In the world of ultimate bliss, which is adorned and serenely nurturing, the water of 8 virtues well forth to the brim, well forth fully to the brim of the jewel ponds. The 4 sides of the shores are shining brightly from the illumining 7 gems. The color of the water is clear and bright with the shiny jewel lights. The water is soft and gentle when we touch it. It is not hard in contact. Bodhisattvas walk gently and spread the jewel fragrance. The jewel incense, jewel clouds arise and are transformed into jewel canopies. The jewel canopies stain empty space, covering the jeweled vajas. The adorned jeweled vajas can be seen around the jewel hall. Above the jewel hall there are the hangings of pearly nettings with the jewel bells dangling from above. The jewel nettings sing forth in thousands of harmonious jewel music unceasingly. The music praises the adorned jewel palaces and bungalows in accord with the potentials. In every palace, every bungalow, there are the Buddha assemblies. Sagely assemblies, equivalent to the Ganges sands, are sitting and entering the deep mindfulness. May all who have affinities will always be mindful of this. May they renounce their life so as to be born in that Dharma hall. C. From the divisions into 14 channels until as the bottom sands shows that the ponds are filled up with different channels of water and they flow in and out without confusion. There are 3 points. A. It shows the number of water channels. B. It shows that every shore besides the channel is golden yellow in colors. C. It shows that the colors of the sands at the bottom of the channel is a mixture of jewel colors. Vajra is mentioned to show the body. To show the body is with no leakage. D. From every pond of water until the water flows up and down, the trees shows the inconceivable function of the water. There are 5 points. A. It shows the different name of water channels as a revelation of adornment. B. It shows the number of jewel lotuses in the jewel channels. C. It shows the size of the lotuses. D. It shows the many jewel water flows around the lotuses. E. It shows the jewel water comes out from the channels and it flows up and down the jewel trees without obstruction. That is why it is known as the as you wish water. E. From the sound is subtly wonderful until the wonderful countenance of the Buddha shows the inconceivable virtues of the water. There are 2 points. A. It shows that the jewel water is flowing around the flowers. When the small ripples come into contact, wonderful sounds are produced to teach the wonderful Dharma. B. It shows that the jewel water travels up the shore and flows up and down among the branches, twigs, flowers, fruits, and leaves, and so on. When they come into contact, wonderful sounds are produced. The sound is teaching the wonderful Dharma. It may be talking about the sufferings of living beings. This will touch the mind. This will touch the mind of great compassion of the Bodhisattva, exhorting him, guiding him on the path. It may be teaching the Dharma of man and devas, or the Dharma of the 2 vehicles, or others, or the Dharma before the ground of various, the various ground, or it will teach the Dharma of the Buddha ground, the 3 bodies, and such Dharma. F. From the as you wish pearly king until the recitation of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha show that the Mani is replete with the spiritual virtue. There are 4 points. A. From the king of pearl, golden lights is shown out. B. It shows that the lights are transformed into birds of myriad gems. C. The voices of the birds are sweetly beautiful, that even the heavenly music is incomparable to their sweet voices. D. The jeweled birds sing in harmony to praise the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. This is because the Buddha is the unsurpassed great master of all living beings, who eradicates the deviant views and brings them to the proper path. The Dharma is the unsurpassed good medicine for living beings, which is able to sever all the poisonous illness of afflictions. The Dharma body is replete with purity. The Sangha is the unsurpassed fields of blessings for all living beings. On knowing this, they will wholeheartedly and untiringly support the Sangha and provide the 4 necessities. The dependent rewards of the 5 vehicles will naturally come forth in the arising of the thoughts. From the jewel pearls, the water of a taste springs forth, followed by a variety of golden lights, which clear the delusion and darkness, besides conducting all kinds of Buddha work. G. From here onwards is the conclusion. Even though there are 7 different descriptions, it is the end of the expansive discussion on the jewel ponds. In the land of myriad gems, every part of the realm consists of 500 billion jewel bungalows. Immeasurable celestial devas dwell among the bungalows and pavilions playing the heavenly music. Moreover, musical instruments are hung in the space, just like the jeweled dvajas. They play by themselves without the musicians. Among the multitude sounds, they praise the mindfulness of the Buddha, the mindfulness of the Dharma, the mindfulness of the Sangha, of bhikshus are sung. When this visualization is accomplished, It is known as the superficial contemplation of the jewel trees, jewel ground, and jewel ponds in the world of ultimate bliss. This is known as the sixth contemplation, a general visualization. Those who have seen this will have immeasurable billion kalpas of heavy bed karma eradicated. After passing away, they will surely be born in that land. Contemplating in this way is known as the proper contemplation. Other contemplations are known as deviant contemplation. 6. In the contemplation of the jewel bungalows, we also list out the adornment, and differentiate them. It will be followed by a conclusion. There are altogether 11 points. At the beginning, it talks about the land of myriad jewels is the general name of this contemplation. By relying on the former adornments, the latter comes forth. This means that the pure land is replete with the jewel flows that surround the land, but without the jewel bungalows. But without the jewel bungalow, palaces, and pavilions, it is still not considered unique. As such, there are various adornments of the dependent rewards to complete the perfection of this land. B. Every realm is mentioned to show that the jewel buildings are living quarters. The ground realm is pervasive in that land, and the bungalows are also endless. C. 50 billion is mentioned to show the number. In one realm, there are this quantity of buildings, and it is the same for all the realms in that land. We should thus know. D. From the bungalows and pavilions until the playing of heavenly music shows the internal adornments of the buildings. E. From the musical instruments until they play by themselves shows the external adornments. The jewel music flows in the air, with the Dharma sound spreading everywhere throughout the 6 periods of time, as they resemble the heavenly jeweled vajas. Without thinking, yet all the things are accomplished. F. From all these sounds until the mindfulness of the Bhikshu Sangha shows that even though the music is not a conscious being, yet it possesses the function to teach the Dharma. G. From the accomplishment of this visualization until the jewel ponds shows the accomplishment of the contemplation. This shows that the mind in concentration dwells in one state, is able to see the jewel bungalows. With a continual and immovable effort and mindfulness, all the adornments mentioned above are revealed generally. H. From here onwards is the conclusion. I. From if one were to see this refers to the accomplishment of the former contemplation, which brings on the latter benefits. J. From the eradication of immeasurable until the attainment of a rebirth in that land shows the contemplation in accord with the Dharma helps to eradicate hindrances of many kalpas. When the body is pure, that this is in accord with the Buddha's mind. On leaving this body, such a man will surely attain a rebirth without any doubts. K. From the contemplation in this matter until the deviant contemplation shows the differentiation of the proper and deviant marks. Even though there are the 11 different descriptions, this is the end of the pervasive discussion on the jewel bungalows contemplations. The Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi, listen carefully, think about it deeply. I will explain and differentiate for you the ways to eradicate sufferings and afflictions. You should remember them and uphold my words. You should widely explain and differentiate them for the multitude. After speaking this, immeasurable lifespan Buddha appeared to stand in the air. He was After speaking this, immeasurable lifespan Buddha appeared to stand in the air. He was attended by the 2 great beings, Avalokiteshvara and Mahastamaprapta on his left and right. In this extremely brilliant illumination, their appearance cannot be seen clearly. Even hundreds of thousands Jambudvipa gold are incomparable to them. At that time, on seeing the immeasurable lifespan Buddha, Vaidehi made obeisance at the Buddha's feet. She said to the Buddha, By relying on the Buddha's strength, I am able to see the immeasurable lifespan Buddha and the two Bodhisattvas. How can the future living beings see the immeasurable lifespan Buddha and the two Bodhisattvas? The Buddha told Vaidehi, those who desire to see that Buddha should thus contemplate. They visualize the lotus flower on the 7 gems ground. They should visualize every petal of the lotus is comprised of hundreds of jewel colors with 84,000 veins that resemble the heavenly designs. From the veins, 84,000 lights are emitted shiningly and clearly. Lotus flowers with small petals are 250 yojanas in length and breadth. Lotuses such like these consists of 84,000 petals. Among the petals are hundreds of billion mani kings of pearl as decorations. Every mani pearl emits thousands of bright illuminations which resemble the canopies. They are made from the 7 jewels which pervasively cover the ground. Sakra Abhilagna Mani gem is the platform. This lotus platform is made from 80,000 Kimsuka gems, Brahman Mani gems, and wonderful pearly nets. On the platforms there are naturally the 4 pillars of jeweled vajas. Every jeweled vaja resembles hundreds of thousands billion Mount Sumeru. The jewel curtains on the dvajas resemble that of the Yama heavenly palaces. Moreover, there are 500 billion jewel pearls which are subtly wonderful shine forth as decoration. Every jewel pearl emits 84,000 lights. Every light is transformed into 84,000 golden lights of different hues. Every golden light transforms itself into myriad shapes pervasively cover the land. Some are transformed into Vajra platforms. Some look like the pearly nets, while others become the mixed flowery clouds. In the 10 directions they transform all at ease to conduct the Buddha work. This is the visualization of the flowery seat. This is known as the 7th contemplation. 7. In the flowery seat contemplation, details are listed, differentiated, and finally there is the conclusion. There are 19 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda until the Dharma of the eradication of afflictions shows the exhortation to listen and to question. There are 3 matters. A. It shows he gives advice to both of them. B. It shows that he asks them to listen attentively to receive the teaching and to cultivate proper mindfulness. C. It shows that the Buddha teaches them the Dharma on the contemplation of the flowery seat. If a man is able to dwell in this contemplation, the sinful offenses will be eradicated. D. From all of you should think about this and uphold it until giving the explanation shows the exhortation of the Buddha to bring forth the mind to circulate this teaching. This shows that the contemplation Dharma is deep and important as it aims to rescue the sunken living beings urgently because they are confused by love and false thoughts in the transmigration on the 6 paths. Everywhere in the teaching, the Buddha exhorts us to cultivate accordingly. In this way, all the living beings will pervasively know and hear this teaching, and all will attain liberation. C. From after saying this, until nothing is comparable, shows the teacher of the Saha world, for the sake of living beings, exhorts them to visualize the Western land. The kindly honored one of serenity bliss knows about this, reveal himself in the Eastern earth. This shows that the 2 honored ones are of the same mind. They are only different in the way one enters the world to teach and the other waits for us in the Western land. This is because the vessels and root natures of the living beings are of myriad differences. So the 2 Buddhas cooperate in this way to teach the living beings. Saying these words is to reveal this exhortation. They can be put into 7 points. A. It is the time he exhorts the 2 of them. B. It shows that Amitabha Buddha immediately reveal himself when he is mentioned. This is to certify the attainment of a rebirth. C. It shows that Amitabha Buddha is standing in the space. This means that a man who finally brings forth the proper mindfulness, vowing to attain a rebirth, will immediately certify to a rebirth. Question. The Buddha with his high and honored virtues will not act drastically. Since he does not renounce his original vows and responds in great compassion, why does not he sit properly to attend to the living beings? Answer. This is a secret meaning of the thus come one. This is because the Saha world is a realm of sufferings. Living beings of mixed evils stay together. The 8 sufferings burn each other. When there is an act, it often goes against the cultivation. Most people are cunning as they act with a smile, just as though they are our relatives. The 6 thieves often follow them, and they are always at the verge of falling into the burning fire pits of 3 evils. If he does not raise his feet to rescue them, where do they have a chance to leave the prison of karmic bondage? Because of such a reason, the Buddha always stands and acts immediately to save us. He has no time to sit there, as he wants to save us. D. It shows that Avalokiteshvara and Mahasamaprapta are his attendants. There are no other assemblies. E. It shows that the 3 honored ones are perfectly pure in body and mind, with the shine of unsurpassed bright illumination. F. It shows that the lights of the Buddha illumine the 10 directions. The mundane men with the heavy filth and obstacles are unable to see them fully. G. The Buddha's body is without leakage, and so is his lights. How can this be comparable to the heavenly gold which is without flaws? D. From at that time, Vaidehi sees the immeasurable lifespan Buddha until she makes obeisance, shows that Vaidehi is really a mundane woman who is filthy and lowly. But by relying on the sagely power, the hidden empowerment, she is able to see the Buddha when he reveals himself and has the chance to make obeisance to him. This is just the same as though she has arrived at the Pure Land, that her joy is indescribable. Now, as she has the chance to see Amitabha Buddha, with the enhancement of the Buddha's strength, her mind is opened up and she reaps the benefits of the enlightenment on patience. E. From told the Buddha until the 2 Bodhisattvas onwards, shows the Queen's gratitude towards the kindness of the Buddha, who clears the doubts of living beings. This is followed by the latter questions. It shows that the Queen is grateful she has received the kindness of the Honored One, so that she is able to see Amitabha Buddha. After the Buddha's extinction, how are the living beings going to see the Buddha? F. From the future living beings until the 2 Bodhisattvas, shows the Queen questions on behalf of the living beings, so that they will be able to see what she has seen. G. From the Buddha told Vaidehi until it should bring forth the visualization, shows the general answer for the Queen to question. Question. The Queen questions on behalf of herself and living beings. Now why does the Thus Come One only point out to Vaidehi without mentioning the living beings? Answer. The Buddha comes by himself to teach the Dharma in accord with their potential. Without being asked, he came by himself to teach pervasively. So there is no question on his special attention, even though he does not mention the living beings. Here it is to give a summary of his answer to the Queen without mentioning the living beings. But I am sure his mind is thinking of living beings too. H. From the 7 jewels ground until the visualization of the flowers, shows the expedience teaching on contemplation. Question. The living beings are blind and deluded. When they start visualizing, their afflictions also increase. Even they cannot see the things in front of them, just as if they are dreaming. So now they are supposed to visualize the pure states. How could this be possible? Answer. If we hope that living beings with their delusions, obstacles, and the thinking mind, it is truly a burden to try this. But now by relying on the sagely strength from afar to protect him, whatever he wishes to contemplate, he will see it. What should be done to subdue the mind, so that he can see the states? Those who desire to cultivate in accord with the Dharma should first seek repentance sincerely before the Buddha image. They should say out the offenses they've committed. They should be extremely remorseful, even with tears welling up. After they have sought their repentance, they should invite Sakyamuni Buddha and Ganges sands like Buddhas in the 10 directions with their mind and mouth. They should be mindful of the original vow of Amitabha Buddha and say, "The disciple by this name is born blind with heavy offenses. My hindrances are especially deep. May the Buddha, who is kind and compassionate, gather me and protect me. Be mindful of me, show me the way so that I will be enlightened. May I be able to accomplish and see the states of my contemplation. Now I renounce my body and life to take refuge in Amitabha Buddha. If I am able to see it or not seeing, it is all the kindness of the Buddha's strength." It is all the kindness of the Buddha's strength. After saying this, they should again seek repentance sincerely. After this, they should go to a quiet place and sit down properly in a full lotus posture, facing the west, just as it is taught before. When the mind stays at one place, they slowly bring it to visualize the jewel grounds of mixed colors clearly. At the beginning state, they should not visualize too many states. It will be difficult to enter concentration. They should only contemplate a small area of about 1 square inch or 1 square feet, and so on for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or 4, 5, 6 days, 6, 7 days. They should do this for 1 month, 1 year, or 2 or 3 to 3 years, and so on throughout the day and night. While they are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down, they should gather in their body, mouth, and mind karma so as to dwell in concentration always. All the other matters are renounced. They should act as though they are the one who has lost the mind, who is deaf, blind, or deluded. In this way, it is easy for them to accomplish concentration. If they neglect this practice, their 3 karmas will surely follow the states and turn by them. The mind will just follow the waves and fly. Even if such a man can live for 1,000 years, his Dharma eyes will not be opened. When the mind dwells in concentration, he will first see the bright appearance come forth, or he will first see the jewel ground and others clearly and their inconceivability. There are 2 types of views. A. The views of delusion. The views of delusion. This is because there is still the awareness, even though they see the pure states, but they are not prominent. B. If the internal and external awareness become extinct, they will enter the right mindfulness of samadhi. The pure states, they say, are incomparable by those who see the states by visualization. I. From the lotuses until the 84,000 lights show, the jewel lotuses are with a variety of adornments. There are 3 points. A. It shows that every flower and every leaf are replete with myriad jewel colors. B. It shows that every leaf is replete with many jewel veins. C. It shows that every vein is replete with myriad colorful lights, which enables the cultivators to dwell in right concentration while visualizing them. In this way, they can see them clearly with their mind eyes. After seeing the flowers and leaves, they should visualize the myriad jewels among the leaves. Next, they visualize from the jewels abundant lights are emitted. The lights are transformed into the jewel canopies. Next, they should visualize the flowery platform. On the platform are the myriad jewels and pearly nets. Next, visualize the 4 jeweled vajas on the platform. Next, visualize the jewel curtains on the vajas. Next, visualize the jewel pearls on the curtains shine brightly in myriad colors, illuminating the empty space pervasively. All kinds of unique manifestations appear. In this way, our mind dwells on these visualizations in sequence continually. After some time, the mind will dwell in concentration. When the mind is concentrated, all the adornments come forth by themselves. We should thus know. J. From see clearly onwards shows the accomplishment of contemplation. K. From the small leaves until it pervasively covers the ground shows that every leaf is replete with a variety of adornments. There are 6 points. A. It shows the size of the flowers and leaves. B. It shows the quantity of flowers and leaves. C. It shows the quantity of pearls among the leaves. D. It shows that the pearls emit thousands of lights. E. It shows that every pearly light is transformed into jewel canopies. F. It shows that from above the jewel canopies illumine the empty space, and from below they cover the jewel ground. I. From Sakra Abhilagna Mani gems are used until are used as decoration, shows the adornment on the platform. M. From the platform until the wonderful jewel platforms as decorations, shows the adornment of Dvaja. There are 4 points. A. It shows that there are 4 Dvajas on the platform. 2. It shows the size of the Dvajas. C. It shows that there are the jewel curtains which resemble the heavenly palaces on the Dvajas. D. It shows that on the Dvajas there are naturally the adornments of the myriad shining jewel pearls as decoration. N. From every jewel pearl until the conducting of Buddha's work shows that the lights of the pearls possess the inconceivable virtuous functions. There are 5 points. A. It shows that every pearl emits abundant lights. B. It shows that every light is of different colors. C. It shows that every colorful light pervasively shines around the jewel land. D. It shows that wherever the lights reach, they will transform into myriad unique adornments. E. It shows that the lights may be transformed into golden platforms, pearly nettings, flowery clouds, jewel music that pervasively filled the 10 directions. O. From here onwards is the general conclusion. Oh, from here onwards is the general conclusion. P. From the Buddha told Ananda until are accomplished by the bhikshu's strength of vows shows the reasons in the accomplishment of the flowery seat. G. From those who desire to be mindful of that Buddha until seeing our own face shows the repetition of the guidelines in contemplation. In this way, we bring our mind to contemplate in sequence. We should not contemplate in a mixed and confused manner. R. From the accomplishment of this visualization until the attainment of rebirth in the world of ultimate bliss shows the accomplishment of contemplation. There are 2 benefits. A. It shows the benefit in the eradication of offenses. B. It shows the benefit of attaining a rebirth. S. From the contemplation in this way until it is known as the deviant contemplation shows the differentiation of proper and deviant marks. This is the description of the flowers which lie on the jewel ground, the unique precious gems among the leaves, the full dvajas on the shining platforms, the lights that conduct the Buddha work. Even though there are the 19 different descriptions, at the end of the expansive description on the contemplation of the flowery seat. The Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi. After visualizing this, next we will visualize the Buddha. Why is this so? The Buddha thus come one is the body of the Dharma realm. It enters the mind of all living beings. That is why when you are thinking of the Buddha, your mind is the 32 marks and 80 subtle adornments. The mind becomes the Buddha, this mind is the Buddha. The sea-like proper and pervasive knowledge of all Buddha arises from the mind. That is why you should single-mindedly be mindful to contemplate that Buddha, Tathagata Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha clearly. On visualizing the Buddha, one must first visualize the image. On closing or opening the eyes, you will see a jewel image, which resembles the Jambu Dvipa gold sitting on that lotus. On seeing this sitting image, the mind eyes are open and you will clearly see the adornment of the 7 gems in the land of ultimate bliss. The jewel ground, jewel ponds, rows of jewel trees. You will see the varieties of heavenly curtains covering him from above. All kinds of jewel nets pervasively cover up the empty space. You should see this manifestation clearly just as though you were looking at your palm. After seeing this, you should then visualize a big lotus on the left of the Buddha. It is exactly the same as the former lotus. Next, you see another big lotus on the right of the Buddha. Visualize the golden image of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva sitting on the left lotus platform in the same way as before. Visualize the image of Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva sitting on the right lotus platform. When this visualization is accomplished, the images of the Buddha and Bodhisattva will emit the bright lights. The lights are golden in color and they shine on the jewel trees. Under every tree, there are 3 lotuses. On the lotuses are the images of 1 Buddha and 2 Bodhisattvas. In this way, they pervasively fill up the Buddha land. When this visualization is accomplished, the cultivator will hear the sounds of flowing water, see the bright illumination, the jewel trees, the ducks, geese, and the mandarin ducks are speaking the wonderful Dharma. He will hear them teaching the wonderful Dharma while dwelling in concentration or not in concentration. On hearing the Dharma, the cultivator will constantly be mindful of the Dharma without renouncing it, even after exiting concentration, so that the teaching is in accord with the sutras. If it is not in accord with the sutras, it is known as the false thoughts. If the teaching is in accord with the sutras, it is known as a general visualization of the world of ultimate bliss. This is the visualization of images, and it is known as the eighth contemplation. Those who contemplate in this way eradicate immeasurable billion kalpas of sinful births and deaths. In this present form, they will attain the samadhi of Buddha recitation. 8. From the contemplation of images, the details are listed, differentiated, and lastly a conclusion. There are 13 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda until next we should visualize the Buddha shows the conclusion of the former teaching, which bring on the latter ones. Saying this is so, saying why is this so is a question. Why should we visualize the Buddha? B. From all the Buddhas, thus come ones until are in the mind of visualization shows out the great kindness of the Buddha responds to our mind and appears. Because of such supreme benefits, we are exhorted to visualize the Buddha. Question. In Vaidehi's question, she only asks about Amitabha Buddha. What is the reason that the thus come one gives the generalization of all the Buddhas? What is the reason for this? Answer. It is because he wants to show all the Buddhas are certified to the same three bodies. Their compassion, wisdom, and the perfection of the fruits are equal. The same and not the same. The same. It is because he wants to show all the Buddhas are certified to the same three bodies. Their compassion, wisdom, and the perfection of the fruits are equal, the same and not different. They sit uprightly in one seat, and their images are seen in all directions. When they wish to go and teach those with affinities, they will arrive at the Dharma realm. The Dharma realm carries the three meanings. A. As their mind is pervasive, they understand the Dharma realm. B. As their body is pervasive, they understand the Dharma realm. C. As they are without obstruction, they understand the Dharma realm. When the mind arrives, the body also comes. As the body is in accord with the mind, so it is known as the body of Dharma, body of Dharma realm. Saying that it is the Dharma realm is to refer to the states it transforms are the realm of living beings. Saying it is the body refers to the body which has the ability to transform. This is the body of all the Buddha. Saying entering the mind of visualization of living beings because living beings give rise to a mind of wishing to see the Buddhas. The Buddhas with the unobstructed wisdom know this. They will enter and reveal themselves in their visualization. All the cultivators who see the Buddha in their visualization, in the dreams or in concentration are because of this meaning. C. From so all of you until arise from the mind of visualization shows the exhortation to attain these benefits. This shows we shout, direct our mind to think of the Buddha. We only have to visualize the Buddha from the summit until his feet unceasingly. We contemplate one by one without resting, or maybe we are visualizing the summit, or we are visualizing the white rays between the eyebrows until visualizing the 1,000 pokes of wheels at the soles of his feet. When we are visualizing in this way, the adorned body and the adorned Buddha image, replete with the subtleties, will appear clearly. This is because our mind is mindful of every feature, so every feature will appear. If the mind is not visualizing, the various marks cannot be seen. As the mind is visualizing, the Buddha will come forth by himself. That is why it is said that this mind is the 32 marks. Talking about the 80 subtleties, as the Buddha has appeared, all the subtleties will follow. This shows that the thus come one teaches those who visualize to contemplate fully. Saying that the mind becomes the Buddha refers to the reliance on the mind of faith. We act by directing our mind to visualize the mark. Saying that the mind is the Buddha refers to the ability to visualize the Buddha. With the reliance on visualization, the Buddha will appear. This is the Buddha in our mind. Apart from this mind, there is no other Buddhas externally. Saying all the Buddha of proper and pervasive knowledge shows that all the Buddhas have attained the perfect wisdom without obstructions. Consciously or unconsciously, they can often know the mind of the Dharma realm pervasively. As long as we can visualize, the Buddha will appear from our visualization. This is as if he has come forth. Or there are the cultivators who use the meaning of this story and treat it as the practice of consciousness only, the contemplation of the Dharma body, or they treat it as the pure self-nature, the contemplation of the Buddha nature. These are wrong interpretations. There is not even a slight similarity between them. Since we are visualizing the expedience of 32 marks of the Buddha in the genuine thus, where can we get to see the body of the Dharma realm? Where to find this body? The Dharma body is without form, so there is nothing for us to see with our eyes. What is more to point out? Its direction. That is why empty space is used as an analogy for the Dharma body. Now in this Contemplation Sutra, it stresses on a direction and certain mark, that the mind dwells on the mentioned state. Here we do not stress on no mark or no thought. The thus come one has known this all the while that in the Dharma age, the turbid men who are heavy with offenses are unable to subdue their minds with the expedience of marks. What is more to asking to practice without marks? It is the same as asking a common man who is without spiritual power to build a house in space. D. From so we should until the Sambuddha shows the benefits just as mentioned before, that with concentration the visualization will be accomplished. We should then teach and exhort each other to contemplate that Buddha. E. From the visualization of that Buddha, the summary of the former teaching that leads to the latter teaching shows that we should first visualize the image and concentrate on the state of contemplation. F. From closing or opening the eyes until just like looking at our palms shows the differentiation of the accomplishment of contemplation. Therefore, points A. It shows that in the four deportments of the body with our eyes open or closed, we often see a golden image of the Buddha who seems to stand before us. B. It shows that since we can contemplate the image, there should be a seat for him, so we visualize the flowery seat as mentioned before. We visualize the Buddha is sitting on the seat. C. It shows that after visualizing the image is sitting down, our mind eyes will open up. D. It shows that as the mind eyes are open, we will see the golden image and the adorned matters in the world of ultimate bliss. We can see clearly the ground and empty space without obstructions. Moreover, we contemplate the image stays in our mind by using the dharmas as mentioned before. We start from the summit and visualize them one by one. We visualize the face, the white rays between the eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, throat, neck, shoulders, arms, fingers, and we bring our mind to visualize upwards. Then we visualize the chest, stomach, navel, euphism, knees, shoulders, feet, 10 fingers, the 1,000 pokes, wheels, and others. We visualize them one by one. Visualizing from the top to the bottom is known as the accordance contemplation. Visualizing the 1,000 pokes wheel from the bottom to the top is known as the discordance contemplation. In this way, our mind is dwelling in concentration in the accordance and discordance visualization. After some time, the contemplation will surely be accomplished. Besides, the Buddha's body, the flowery seat, the jewel ground, and others must all be contemplated from the top till the bottom in general. In the 13th contemplation, the jewel ground, jewel lotus, and jewel image are the most important parts in contemplation. If we wish to teach others, we must teach this Dharma. If this Dharma is accomplished, all the other contemplation can naturally be seen clearly. G. From afar, seeing this and onwards is the conclusion of the image contemplation, which leads to the latter contemplation of the two bodhisattvas. H. From next we will visualize one big lotus flower until sitting on the right lotus flower seat shows the contemplation of the three images. This will lead to the myriad image contemplation. Those who wish to contemplate these two bodhisattvas should follow exactly the Dharma in contemplating the Buddha. I. From the accomplishment of this visualization until our seen pervasively in that land shows a conclusive contemplation of the myriad manifestation. This will lead to the latter mark on teaching the Dharma. It shows that the practitioner will often be mindful of the jewel trees, bungalows, jewel bungalows, flower ponds, and others in that land while he is walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. This is carried out constantly while he is bowing to the Buddha, mindful of the Buddha dwelling visualization. J. From the accomplishment of this visualization until not renouncing this visualization shows that he can see the adornment of the ultimate bliss while dwelling in concentration. He can also hear all the adornments or teaching the wonderful Dharma. After seeing and hearing this, he persistently upholds them in his mind so that they will remain there. This is known as taking care of the mind of concentration. K. From so that they will be in accord with the sutras until seeing the world of ultimate bliss is the differentiation of proper or deviant marks. I. From here onwards is the general conclusion. M. From those who practice in this way until the attainment of Buddha recitation. Samadhi shows that the controlling of the mind to cultivate contemplation enables one to reap the present benefits. This is because all the living beings are heavy in hindrances. It is difficult for them to contemplate the genuine Buddha. That is why the great sage takes pity on us and asks us to concentrate on the images. We have already discussed the 13 different descriptions, and it is the end of the expansive teaching of the image contemplation. The Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi, after you have accomplished this visualization, you should then contemplate the physical marks and the bright illumination of Amitabha Buddha. Ananda, you should know this, the Buddha of immeasurable lifespan, his body resembles the hundreds of thousand million kotis of the Jambudvipa golden colors in the Yama heaven. The height of the Buddha is equivalent to 60 million koti Nayuta of Ganges sands yojanas. The white light tuft emitting between the eyebrows, swirling in circles to the right, resembles the size of 5 Mount Sumerus. 5 Mount Sumerus. The Buddha's eyes resemble the 4 great ocean waters, in distinct turquoise and white. The hair pores on his body are flooded with a bright illumination that resemble the Mount Sumeru. The aureole lights of the Buddha resemble the hundreds of kotis, 3,000 great thousand worlds. In the aureole lights, there are transformation Buddhas equivalent to the hundreds of million koti Nayuta Ganges sands. Every transformation Buddha is surrounded by a multitude of innumerable transformation bodhisattvas as attendants. The Buddha of immeasurable lifespan is replete with 84,000 marks. In every mark there are 84,000 subtle adornments. In every subtle adornment there are 84,000 bright lights. Every bright illumination pervasively shines on living beings who recite the Buddha's name in the worlds of the 10 directions, gathers them in without renouncing anyone. The bright illumination, the subtly adorned countenance, and the transformation Buddhas cannot be fully described. You should be mindful and visualize them so that you can see them in your mind eyes. Those who see this are seeing all the Buddhas in the 10 directions. As they are able to see all the Buddhas, this is known as the Samadhi Buddha recitation. Those who contemplate in this way are known as the contemplation of the body of all Buddhas. As you can contemplate the Buddha's body, you will also see the Buddha's mind. The Buddha's mind is great kindness and great compassion. With the unconditional kindness, he gathers in all living beings. Those who contemplate in this way will be born before all the Buddha after leaving the present form body. They will attain the patience of no birth. That is why a wise man should gather in his mind to contemplate the immeasurable lifespan Buddha. Those who wish to contemplate the Buddha of immeasurable lifespan should start the contemplation from one subtly adorned mark. He should contemplate the white tuft of lights between the eyebrows so that it can be seen very clearly. Those who see the mark of the white tuft of lights between the eyebrows will naturally see the 84,000 of subtly adorned marks revealing themselves. Once you see the immeasurable lifespan Buddha, you are also seeing the immeasurable Buddhas in the 10 directions. As you are able to see the immeasurable Buddhas, all the Buddhas will appear before you to bestow upon you the prediction of Bodhi. This is known as the pervasive contemplation on the marks of all the form bodies, and this is known as the main contemplation. Contemplate in this way is known as the proper contemplation. Other contemplations are known as deviant contemplations. 9. In the contemplation of the genuine body, first we also list out the details, differentiate them, and finally the conclusion. There are 12 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda until the physical marks and bright illumination shows the conclusion on the former image contemplation that brings on the latter genuine body contemplation. B. From Ananda you should know until the golden colors shows the Buddha's genuine bodily marks far surpasses the color of the heavenly gold. C. From the Buddha's height of 60 until yojana shows the size of the Buddha's body. D. From between the eyebrows until the bodhisattvas as attendants shows the general contemplation of the bodily marks. There are 6 points. A. It states the size of the tuft lights. B. It states the size of the eyes. C. It states the size of the lights from the pores. D. It states the size of the aureole lights. E. It states the number of transformation Buddhas. F. It states the number of attendants. E. From the Buddha of immeasurable lifespan until gathers them in without renouncing anyone shows the special marks in the bodily contemplation and the benefits of the lights for those with affinities. There are 5 points. A. It shows the number of marks. B. It shows the number of subtleties. C. It shows the number of lights. D. It shows the distance the light travels. The lights travel. E. It shows wherever the lights reach, the living beings are gathered in and benefited. Question. People who cultivate all kinds of practices and transfer the merits and virtues will also attain a rebirth. So why do the pervasive Buddhist lights only gather in the Amitabha reciters? What is the meaning? Answer. There are 3 meanings. 1. It shows the close affinity. When the living beings start to cultivate, their mouth often call on the Buddha and the Buddha will hear him. They often make obeisance to the Buddha and the Buddha can see them. Their mind is often mindful of the Buddha and the Buddha will know this. When living beings are mindful of the Buddha is also mindful of them. Their 3 karmas do not leave one another, so this is known as the close affinities. 2. It shows the near affinities. Living beings desire to see the Buddha will come forth in the arising of such a thought. So it is known as the near affinities. 3. It shows the enhanced affinities. Living beings who recite the Buddha's name will be able to eradicate the offenses from many kalpas. When they are about to pass away, the Buddha and the sagely assemblies will naturally come forth to welcome them. All the deviant karmic bondages are unable to obstruct them. So this is known as the enhanced affinities. The other practices are also good, but they are incomparable to the recitation of the Buddha's name. That is why in many sutras, the merits and effects of Buddha recitation are widely praised. For example, in the 48 vows of the Sutra of Immeasurable Lifespan, it clearly states that those who recite the name of Amitabha Buddha exclusively will attain a rebirth. Moreover, in the Amitabha Sutra, it states that those who recite the Buddha's name for 1 day to 7 days will attain a rebirth. Besides, the Buddha in the 10 directions, equivalent to the Ganges sands, have also given the sincere authentication of this practice. Moreover, the passages on concentration and mixed practices in the sutra clearly show that the attainment of a rebirth is by reciting the Buddha's name exclusively. This is not the only example. This is the end of the expansive revelation on the samadhi of Amitabha recitation. F. From the bright illumination and subtle countenance onwards is a conclusive description of many marks. This is because those who desire to contemplate would find it difficult to go into detail. G. From you should be mindful and visualize onwards shows the subtly wonderful adornment far surpassing the mundane states. Even though we are not certified to see the state before us, we should visualize so that our mind eyes are able to see them. H. From those who see this until gather in all the living beings shows that the merits are not lost, the benefits of contemplation are accomplished. There are 5 points. A. It shows that we are able to see all the Buddha in the 10 directions because of contemplation. B. It shows that we can see all the Buddhas, that as we can see all the Buddhas, we are able to accomplish the Buddha recitation samadhi. C. It shows that the contemplation of one Buddha is the contemplation of all Buddhas. D. It shows that when we see the Buddha's body, we are seeing the Buddha's mind. E. It shows that the body of the Buddha's mind is kindness and compassion. With this mind of equality and great kindness, he gathers in all living beings pervasively. I. From those who contemplate in this way until we'll attain the patience of no birth, shows that when we renounce this body, we will obtain the benefits of a rebirth in that land. J. From so the wise ones, until to bestow upon you the prediction of Bodhi in the present life is a repeated exhortation to us to obtain the benefits by cultivating contemplation. There are 5 points. A. It lists out those who can cultivate contemplation. B. It shows we must contemplate the Buddha of immeasurable lifespan wholeheartedly. C. It shows that there are many subtleties in the Buddha's adornment, so we should not mix them up while contemplating. We only contemplate the white tuft, and if we can see the white tuft, all the other subtleties will naturally appear. D. It shows that seeing Amitabha Buddha is seeing all the Buddhas in the 10 directions. E. Since we can see all the Buddhas, we will receive the prediction of Bodhi from them in concentration. In concentration. K. From this is known as pervasive contemplation, and onwards is the conclusion. L. From this contemplation onwards shows the differentiation of the proper and deviant marks. This is the size of the genuine form with the tuft lights circumambulating the 5 Sumera mountains. The sound of the voice can be heard in accord with our potential, the lights that shine on all beings with consciousness. By doing so, he enables all those with consciousness to take refuge in him. With the concentrated visualization, we will arrive at that land relying on the Buddha's magnificent vows. There are 12 different descriptions, and this is the end of the expansive discussion on the contemplation of the genuine body. The Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi, after you've seen the immeasurable lifespan Buddha distinctly, you should next contemplate Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. This Bodhisattva is 80 trillion Nayuta yojanas in height. The body is purplish gold in color, and there is a flesh mound at the summit of his head. The face and the neck are surrounded by an aureole which is hundreds of thousands yojanas. In the circular light of the aureole are 500 transformation Buddhas who resemble Shakyamuni Buddha. Every transformation Buddha is followed by 500 transformation Bodhisattvas and immeasurable heavenly devas as attendants. In the bright illumination of his body, the living beings in the 5 paths appear clearly in all kinds of distinct forms. He wears a heavenly crown made of sakra, Abhilagna Mani gems. A transformation Buddha of 25 yojanas is standing on his crown. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is adorned with a Jambudvipa golden face, and between his eyebrows is a tuft mark of 7 jewel color lights. From the tuft make 84,000 lights are emitted. In every bright illumination, there are immeasurable, innumerable hundreds of thousand transformation Buddhas. Transformation Buddha. Every transformation Buddha is attended by innumerable transformation Bodhisattvas who transform these to fill out the worlds in the 10 directions. His arms resemble the color of the red lotus. He is adorned with 8 billion subtly wonderful bright lights as ornaments. In the ornaments, all kinds of adorned matters are pervasively revealed. His palms are the colors of 50 billion mixed lotuses. At the tips of the 10 fingers, 84,000 designs, which resemble the distinct patterns on the seals, are seen on every fingertip. Every design comprises of 84,000 colors, and from every color 84,000 lights are emitted. The lights are soft and subdued, which shine pervasively on everything. With these jewel hands, he leads and guides living beings to the Pure Land. When he raises his foot, under his foot there appear 1,000 spokes wheel, which transforms naturally into 50 billion shining pedestal. When he steps down, Vajramani flowers spread out everywhere, fully occupy the ground. His other bodily marks are replete with subtly wonderful adornments, just the same as the Buddha. Only the flesh mound on the summit and the mark of invisible summit are incomparable to the world outer one. These are the genuine bodily marks of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. This is known as the 10th contemplation. The Buddha told Ananda, if you desire to visualize Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, you should contemplate in this way. Those who contemplate in this way will be free from disasters. Their karmic hindrances are cleared and purified. Offenses of birth and death of innumerable kalpas are eradicated. Those who hear his name will obtain immeasurable blessings. What is more for them to contemplate him distinctly? Those who wish to contemplate Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva should first contemplate the fleshy mound on top of his head. Next, they should contemplate the heavenly crown, followed by other adorned marks in sequence, so that they can see him clearly, just like contemplating their palms. Contemplating in this way is known as proper contemplation. Other contemplations are known as deviant contemplation. 10. In the contemplation of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, we will also list out the details, differentiate them, and lastly, a conclusion. There are 15 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda until all the Bodhisattvas, shows with the conclusive contemplation of the genuine body, which brings on the latter contemplation on the Bodhisattva. B. from the height of the Bodhisattva until appear clearly shows the general appearance of the bodily marks. There are 6 points. A. It shows the size of the body. B. It shows the color of the body is different from the Buddha. C. It shows that the fleshy man is different from the Buddha's hair bones. D. It shows the size of the aureole lights. E. It shows the number of transformation Buddhas and their attendants. F. It shows that the bodily illumination, living beings, and the 5 paths are revealed pervasively. C. From the Avalokna gem until the 25 yojanas, show the supremely unique transformation Buddhas in the heavenly crown. D. From Avalokiteshvara onwards, shows the color of the face is different from the bodily color. E. From the eyebrows until the color of the red lotus, shows the tough lights transformed and shine pervasively to the 10 directions. There are many transformation attendants if they are compared to the color of the red lotuses. There are 5 points. A. It shows that the tough lights are in the color of the 7 jewels. B. It shows the amount of tough lights. C. It shows the number of transformation Buddhas in the lights. D. It shows the number of attendants. E. It shows the transformation attendants appear pervasively in the 10 directions. F. From the 8 billion subtly wonderful bright lights until the adorned matters, shows the body is adorned with the jewelry of lights, not the myriad gems. G. From the palms of 50 billion until to lead and guide living beings onwards, shows that kindness and compassion are the functions of the hands. There are 6 points. A. It shows that the color of the hands is mixed lotuses colors. B. It shows that on every fingertip there are 80,000 impressions of seals. C. It shows that every design consists of more than 80,000 colors. D. It shows that every color emits more than 80,000 lights. E. It shows that the lights are soft and gentle, as they illumine everything equally. F. It shows that with these hands of jewel lights he comes to lead and guide those who have affinities with him. H. From raises his foot until spread out everywhere, fully occupy the ground, shows that the feet possess the virtuous functions. I. From his other bodily marks onwards, shows that they're the same as the Buddha. J. From only the fleshy man Ushnisha on the summit until they're incomparable to the world honored one, shows that the teacher and student are not in the same position as the fruits and vows have not been perfected. That is why these 2 marks are not full. It shows that this is the position for improvement. K. From these are the onwards is the conclusion. L. From the Buddha told Ananda until it should contemplate in this way, shows the conclusion of the former passages that bring on the latter benefits. M. From those who contemplate in this way until what is more for them to contemplate him distinctly shows the exhortation on the benefits of contemplation. N. From those who wish to contemplate Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva until just like the contemplating their palms shows the repetition on the guidelines of contemplation and the exhortation to cultivate wholeheartedly. In this way we will obtain the 2 benefits. From contemplating in this way onwards, shows the differentiation of the proper and deviant marks. This is because of the sincere vows of Avalokiteshvara that his images appear in the 10 directions, with his jewel hand extended with brightness to lead and guide in accord with the potential of living beings. There are the 15 different descriptions, and this is the end of the expansive contemplation of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Next we will contemplate Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva. The size of this Bodhisattva is the same as Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. His aureole lights are each 125 yojanas, which shine forth to a distance of 250 yojanas. His body is enveloped in bright purplish gold illumination that shine to all the lands in the 10 directions. Those who have affinities with him will be able to see him. If we can see the lights of one hair pore of this Bodhisattva, we are indeed seeing the wonderfully pure, bright illumination of immeasurable Buddhas in the 10 directions. That is why this Bodhisattva is known as the Luminous Lights Bodhisattva. With the wisdom lights, he pervasively shines on all living beings, so that they will leave the three evil paths and obtain the unsurpassed strength. That is why this Bodhisattva is known as Mahastamaprapta, the accomplishment of great strength Bodhisattva. On the heavenly crown of this Bodhisattva are 500 jewel lotuses. Every jewel flower there are 500 jewel pedestals. On every pedestal there are piers, the broad and expansive, wonderful, pure lands of all the Buddhas. In the 10 directions, the fleshy mound on the summit shapes like a Padma flower. On top of the fleshy mound is a jewel vase which contains the bright lights. It pervasively reveals the Buddha's work. The other body marks look exactly like Avalokiteshvara's, with no differences. When this Bodhisattva is walking, the worlds in the 10 directions will start to vibrate. At the dwelling of vibration, there are 50 billion jewel lotuses. Every jewel flower is adorned and lofty, just like those in the world of ultimate bliss. When this Bodhisattva is sitting down, the lands of 7 gems start to tremble and move at the same time. From the bright illumination Buddha land in the nadir direction until the bright illumination King Buddha land in the zenith direction, the transformation Buddha of immeasurable lifespan equivalent to immeasurable dust motes, the transformation of Avalokiteshvara, Mahastamaprapta, all come together like clouds at the land of ultimate bliss. They fully occupy the empty space when they reveal themselves sitting on the lotus pedestal to speak the wonderful Dharma, to cross over the suffering living beings. Contemplating in this way is known as the contemplation of Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva. This is the contemplation of the form body of Mahastamaprapta and is known as the 11th contemplation. Those who contemplate this Bodhisattva will have the immeasurable kalpas of sinful offenses of births and deaths eradicated. With this contemplation, they will no longer dwell in the fetus, but will often travel to all the pure and wonderful Buddha lands. With the accomplishment of this contemplation, it is known as the full contemplation of Avalokiteshvara and Mahastamaprapta. 11. In the Mahastamaprapta contemplation, we also list out the details, differentiate them, and lastly, a conclusion. There are altogether 13 points. A. From next we will contemplate Mahastamaprapta onwards is the general listing of names. B. From the size of this Bodhisattva onwards is the differentiation of the marks. There are 5 points. A. It shows that the size is the same as Avalokiteshvara. B. It shows that the color of the form body is the same as Avalokiteshvara. C. It shows that the face is the same as Avalokiteshvara. D. It shows that the bodily lights and subtle marks are the same as Avalokiteshvara. E. It shows that the emitting of the tough lights and the transformation are the same as Avalokiteshvara. C. From the aureole lights shine forth to a distance of 25 yajanas onwards shows that the aureole is different from the marks of Avalokiteshvara. There are 4 points. A. It shows the size of the aureole lights. B. It shows the distance of the light's illumination. C. It shows the number of transformation Buddhas. D. It shows the number of attendants to the transformation Buddha. D. From his body is enveloped in bright illumination until it is known as Mahastamaprapta. The accomplishment of great strength shows that the bodily light shine to a great distance to illumine those who have affinity with him equally and other directions. The lights are purplish golden color. There are 8 points. A. It shows that the bodily lights are different in general and special. B. It shows the distance of its illumination. C. It shows that the places that come in contact with the lights are purplish golden color. D. It shows that those who have affinities with the Bodhisattva in the past lives will be able to see the lights, to come into contact with the lights. E. It shows that those who see one hair pour of lights will be able to see the pure and wonderful lights of all the Buddhas. This is to show from a minor cause much benefits are obtained. With such benefits, cultivators are exhorted to enter and certify to the contemplation with a rare mind to desire for such benefits. F. It shows that he is named after the lights. G. It shows the body and function of the lights. As the body is without leakage, it is known as the wisdom lights. Besides, the lights are able to eradicate and put to rest the sufferings in the three evil paths in the 10 directions, so it is known as the unsurpassed lights. This is the function of the lights. H. It shows that Mahastamaprapta is thus named, as he takes virtues as his name. E. From on the heavenly crown of this Bodhisattva until there appears, shows that the Bodhisattva's adorned heavenly crown is different from Avalokiteshvara. There are 4 points. A. It shows the number of jewel flowers on his crown. B. It shows the number of jewel pedestals on every flower. C. It shows that in every pedestal, the pure lands of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions will appear. D. It shows the appearance of lands in other directions, yet there is neither an increase nor a decrease in both lands. F. From the fleshy mound on the summit until it reveals a Buddha's work shows that the features of the fleshy mound and the jewel vase. G. From other bodily marks onwards, he is the same as Avalokiteshvara. H. From when this Bodhisattva is walking until just like those in the world of ultimate bliss shows that his walking is different from Avalokiteshvara. There are 4 points. A. It shows the difference of his walking. B. It shows the distance of the movement of vibrations. C. It shows lots of flowers appear at the place of vibrations. D. It shows that the flowers that come forth are tall and prominent. They are decorated with lots of shiny adornments, just the same as the adornments in the world of ultimate bliss. I. From when this Bodhisattva is sitting down until to cross over the suffering living beings shows the way he sits is different from Avalokiteshvara. There are 7 points. It shows the way he is sitting. B. It shows the vibrations will be felt in the original land. C. Next, it shows the distance the vibration travels in the other directions. D. It shows the number of Buddha lands that shake and vibrate from below and above. E. It shows the transformation bodies of Amitabha Buddha and Avalokiteshvara, and others will gather in like clouds. F. It shows they come from the side and gather around, fully occupy the empty space, sitting on the jewel lotuses. G. It shows the transformation Buddha and Bodhisattva speak the Dharma in accord with the potentials of living beings. Question. In the Amitabha Sutra it is thus stated, living beings in that land do not have any sufferings, they only experience all kinds of bliss, so it is known as ultimate bliss. Then why in this sutra the transformation bodies speak the Dharma to cross over the sufferings? What does it mean? Answer. Now we will discuss the 2 types of sufferings and bliss. 1. The sufferings and bliss in the triple realms. 2. The sufferings and bliss in the pure lands. Talking about the sufferings and bliss in the triple realms, they experience the sufferings in the 3 evil paths, and the 8 sufferings in others. The bliss they experience refers to the heedless enjoyment of 5 desires in the realm of devas and men, which are with bondage. The enjoyment is thus called only by name. Actually, they are great sufferings. Ultimately, there is not a single genuine bliss in them. Talking about the sufferings and bliss in the Pure Land, those who dwell before attaining the grounds is considered sufferings in comparison to those who dwell on the ground. Those who are on the grounds are considered dwelling in bliss in comparison to those grounds are considered dwelling in bliss in comparison to those before attaining the ground. Those who are certified to the inferior wisdom are considered sufferings when compared to those who are certified to superior wisdom. Those who are certified to the superior wisdom are considered blissful when compared to the attainment of inferior wisdom. We can understand this just by giving one example. Now when we say crossing over the suffering beings is to bring those at the lower ground to the higher ground, those with the inferior attainment to be brought up to the superior attainment. When they manage to accomplish what they have originally sought for, this is known as bliss. That is why it is said to cross over the sufferings. If we do not explain in this way, all the sages in the Pure Land take the body of no leakage as their body. They great compassion as the functions, and they dwell permanently. as they are apart from the sectional birth and extinction. What sufferings will there be for them? J. From contemplating in this way, until is known as the 11th Contemplation, shows the differentiation of proper and deviant contemplation. This is the general conclusion. K. From those who contemplate this Bodhisattva onwards, shows the benefits of contemplation and the eradication of offenses from many kalpas. L. From with this contemplation to the pure and wonderful Buddha land, shows the conclusion of the former teaching, which lead to the latter benefits. M. From with the accomplishment of this contemplation onwards, shows the general description of the two bodhisattvas, the accomplishment of marks in differentiating the contemplation. The Bodhisattva Mahastamaprapta is lofty in virtues, as he is able to shake up other lands when he takes a seat. He enables the transformation Buddha. He enables the transformation Buddha and Bodhisattva to come together like the clouds to propound the Dharma to benefit living beings. In this way they will forever leave the wombs, and they will always travel in the Dharma realm. There are the 13 different details, and this is the end of the expansive teaching on Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva. After seeing this, you should always give rise to a mind to be born in the Western world of ultimate bliss, that you sit in full lotus posture in the lotus flower. You should visualize the closing of the lotus. You should also visualize the opening of the lotus. You should visualize when the lotus is open, 500 colored lights are shining on your body. You should visualize when you open your eyes. You can see the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas fully occupy the empty space. You can hear the sound of the water, the birds, forest, and all the Buddha are propounding the wonderful Dharma, which are in accord with the 12 division Sutra canons. Even when you are not dwelling in meditation, you can still remember and visualize them clearly, without forgetting. After seeing this, it is known as seeing the world of ultimate bliss of immeasurable lifespan Buddha. This is the visualization of pervasive contemplation. This is known as the 12th Contemplation. Immeasurable lifespan Buddha in the numerous transformation bodies will often come to the dwelling of this cultivator, together with the Valakishvara Mahastamaprapta. 12. In the pervasive contemplation we will also list out the details, differentiate them, unless the conclusion is drawn. There are 6 points. A. From after seeing this, shows the conclusion of the former teaching leads on to the latter teaching. B. From should always give rise to a mind until ever propounding the wonderful Dharma, shows that when we gather in our mind to contemplate, we should often visualize we are attaining a rebirth. There are 9 points. A. It shows the visualization of our attainment of rebirth. B. It shows we direct our visualization to the west. C. It shows the visualization of sitting on the lotus. D. It shows the visualization of the closing of the flower. E. It shows the visualization of the blooming of flower. F. It shows the visualization of jewel lights shining on our body. I. It shows the visualization of the opening of our eyes when the lights shine on us. J. It shows the visualization of seeing the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with our eyes open. K. It shows the visualization of listening to the Dharma. C. From or in accord with the 12 divisions canon, until without forgetting, shows that we are always mindful while dwelling in concentration or not in concentration. Here the contemplating mind dwells in pure clarity. All the evils do not come forth. All the evils do not come forth. As internally we are in accord with the Dharma bliss, externally there will be no hindrances of the 3 evils. D. From after seeing this and onwards, it shows the benefits for accomplishing the contemplation. E. From it is onwards is the general conclusion. F. From immeasurable lifespan Buddha until often come to the dwelling of this cultivator, onwards is a repetition of benefits that those who contemplate will obtain the benefits of being protected and mindful of by Amitabha Buddha, of Amitabha and the 2 Bodhisattvas. This is because all the living beings who are mindful of the Buddha wish to see the 2 adornments in the Western land, the proper rewards and the dependent rewards. They will see them clearly before them, even though there are the 6 different descriptions. This is the end of the expansive discussion on the face of contemplation. the Buddha told Ananda and Vaidehi, those who sincerely desire to be born in the Western land should visualize a 16-foot Buddha image standing on the pond. In the previous description of the immeasurable lifespan, Buddha is replete with a limitless body. It is impossible for a money man who is lacking in the mind power to visualize him, but because of the past vows of the thus come one, those who are visualizing him will surely be able to accomplish it. If you can visualize the Buddha image, you will reap immeasurable blessings. What is more, if you can contemplate the full physical adornment of the Buddha, Amitabha Buddha is replete with wish-fulfilling spiritual penetration. He can manifest at ease in the lands of the 10 directions. He may manifest a huge body that fully fills up the empty space, or he can manifest a small body which is 16 feet or 8 feet in height. The form he reveals is in the color of genuine gold. The Oriole, the Transformation Buddha, and the jewel lotuses are as described above. At all places, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva and Mahastamaprapta Bodhisattva will reveal the form body just like living beings. We can know if he is Avalokiteshvara or Mahastamaprapta by looking at the adornments on their heads. These two bodhisattvas help Amitabha Buddha to transform all living beings pervasively. This is the 13th contemplation, the mixed visualization. 13. In the mixed visualization, we also list out the detail, differentiate them, and followed by a conclusion. There are 11 points. A. From the Buddha told Ananda onwards, shows the Buddha's exhortation to practice, and this leads to the latter teaching. B. From should visualize a 16-foot Buddha image onwards, shows the image contemplation is the analogy of genuineness, while the visualization of water is a representation of the ground. This is the thus come one's teaching to living beings to lead them to transform the states and mind by entering contemplation. They should bring their mind to visualize the water pond and lotuses, or the dwelling in the jewel palaces and jewel pavilions, or the dwelling under the jewel forest and jewel trees, or the dwelling in the jewel platform, or jewel halls, or the dwelling in the jewel clouds and flowery canopies. An empty space. So in this way they visualize every dwelling, bringing their mind to dwell in the visualization. They should treat them as the transformation bodies of the Buddha. By doing so, the potential and the states are in accordance, and it is easy for them to accomplish the contemplation. C. From the previous description, until lacking in the power mind shows that it is impossible to accomplish the contemplation, as the states are expansive, while the mind is narrow. That is why the sage of the one takes pity on us and exhorts us to contemplate the small image. D. From, but because of the past vows of the thus come one, until surely be able to accomplish it, shows the narrowness of a mundane mind and the expansiveness of the sage of capacity. With an expedient visualization, we might find it difficult to accomplish it. So it is not because of our mind capacity that we are unable to accomplish it, nor because of his great capacity that he does not appear. All the visualizations can be accomplished just because of the sincere vow of Amitabha to rescue us. E. From you can visualize the Buddha image until full physical adornments, shows the revelation of supremacy by comparison. By visualizing the images, we will reap the immeasurable blessings. What is more, if we can contemplate the genuine Buddha, the benefits and merits thus obtained will be much bigger. F. From Amitabha Buddha until the height of 16 feet or 8 feet, shows the person who contemplates and the Buddha images he contemplates are various sizes, but they are all genuine. There are 3 reasons. A. It shows that Amitabha Buddha is replete with the unobstructed body penetrations. He can manifest everywhere pervasively as he desires. There are 2 meanings for as you wish. 1. He manifests in accord with the wish of living beings to cross them over. 2. It is in accord with Amitabha Buddha's wish that the 5 eyes illumine pervasively the 6 penetrations as he desires. On contemplating a man with the potential to be crossed over, in a thought, without being too early or too late, he will go by himself in body and mind to enlighten him with the 3 wheels of body, mouth, and mind. Everyone will receive different benefits. B. It shows that he can manifest a big body or a small body. C. It shows that even though there is a difference in size, but they are all the genuine golden colors. This is to confirm which is proper and which is deviant. G. From the form he reveals onward shows that even though there is a difference in size, the light is not different from the genuine lights. H. From Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva onwards, shows that it is the same as the previous contemplation. When the Buddha is big, the attendants are big too. When the Buddha is small, the attendants are small. I. From by looking at the adornment of the heads onwards, shows the exhortation to contemplate the two differences. What are the two differences? On Avalokiteshvara's head, there stands a transformation Buddha. On the head of Mahasamapta, there is a jewel base. J. From these two bodhisattvas onward shows that Amitabha, Buddha, Avalokiteshvara, and Mahasamapta and others are close in affinities in accord with their past vows. Together they vow to renounce evils in others until their arrival at Bodhi. Their shadow and voices travel together to benefit and transform wherever they go. K. From this is onwards is the general conclusion. We have already discussed the 11 different descriptions, and this is the end of the expansive discussion on the mixed visualization contemplation. From the contemplation of the sun, until the mixed visualization contemplation shows that the world honored one answers Vaidehi's fourth question on teach me to visualize how to tolerate concentration. General phrases. Firstly, the Buddha teaches us the sun contemplation serves to clear our darkness of stupor. Visualizing the water to become ice purifies our mind. The underground golden dvajas shine brightly on each other. The adornments of the ground comes forth in billions of million layers. The jewel clouds and jewel canopies rotate in circles in empty space. The music of deities and men are played in coherence. The jewel trees are adorned with dangling flowers among a variety of fruits. In the ponds, the virtuous water flows around the lotuses, showering them. The jewel bungalows and jewel pavilions are seen one after another in a continual flow. The lights shine on each other, and there is no space for a shade. The 3 flower seats are especially adorned, far surpassing all the other seats. The 4 dvajas are adorned with layers of curtains made from pearly nettings. Living beings with consciousness are confused in mind, and they are yet to know, so they learn to subdue the mind and contemplate the images while sitting in quietude. When the mind is opened up in a single mindfulness, the genuine Buddha is seen. The bodily illumination, the subtle countenance transforms in such an elegant an abundant wonder. Avalokiteshvara, who rescues the suffering beings, arrives at the Dharma realm. There is not a time he does not transform himself on entering the Saha world. The awesome lights Mahasamapta vibrates constantly, shining in accord with conditions to gather in living beings to see the Buddha Amitabha. Let us go home, going to our home at the land of ultimate bliss. This is the best way for us all. Let us bring forth the right mindfulness to visualize the flowers. To return to our home in the West, we will be able to see the adorned Buddha. We will hear the voice that speaks the Dharma. Moreover, there are living beings whose mind is filled with doubts. It might be difficult for them to visualize the genuine superior states. This is why the thus koan opens up the gradual contemplation. To visualize the lotus ponds, to see the 16 feet images and other golden forms. Even though the adorned forms are different in sizes, it is expedient to accord with the potential living beings. To cross them over may we exhort all the good and wrong advisors who are born together with us to recite the Buddha's name exclusively, to incline our mind to the West. Moreover, in the former request, from the contemplation of the sun to the contemplation of the flower seat, is a general description of the dependent rewards. 2. From the contemplation of the images until the mixed visualization is the general description of the proper rewards. We discussed the differences in the proper rewards and the dependent rewards. This is then the expansive description on the doors of the wholesomeness and concentration.